What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. About 12 hours ago, all of the Night Unison cards translations were posted on Pokebeach.com. This is the next set in Japan. It's coming out on January 11th, and it'll have 55 cards in it. So we're going to look over these cards, and this is my first impressions on the set. Starting out, we have Venonat. It has an okay first attack, Radar Eye. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand. Then shuffle the remaining cards into your deck. Not bad. It evolves into Venomoth GX, 200 HP. Stage 1, of course, evolves from Venonat. Its first attack is for Grass, Colorless, Secret of the Ninja, 110 plus damage. If you played Koga's Trap from your hand this turn, this attack does 90 more damage. If you played Janine from your hand this turn, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon from the attacks of your opponent's basic Pokemon. And its GX is for colorless, 60 damage. Shuffle your hand, draw 10. So to properly know how good this attack will be, we have to skip ahead a bit to see what Koga's Trap and Janine do. So let's see. Koga's Trap. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now poisoned and confused. So not a great supporter. I wouldn't even be considering it if it wasn't part of Venomoth's attack. And then Janine, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, choose 2 of them and put them into your hand, shuffle the rest. So that's actually not too bad. But Janine gets the lesser effect for Venomoth. Koga's the one that would allow this to do 200, and then it would also take the poison damage, so it would be doing 210 for a Grass, Colorless. I'm not too thrilled about that. We saw that, Garchomp, the Garchomp from Ultra Prism needed Cynthia to do 200. I never saw play, but that was also a stage 2, so that's a bit different. But 110 damage if you're not playing one of those supporters, like let's say you play Cynthia or Judge or one of the good supporters that we have right now. Secret of the Ninja is only doing 110. That's not too great. Bellsprout, nothing. Weepinbell, nothing. Victory Bell, reactive poison, 10 plus damage. This attack does 60 more damage for each special condition on your opponent's active Pokemon. So this looks like it's supposed to pair with Koga potentially. So if you played Koga and then used reactive poison, it would do 130 for a Grass. And then 10 for the poison damage from Koga, so that's 140 for a Grass energy. Not terrible, but it's a stage 2 Pokemon. It's probably just getting one shot next turn, so I don't know about that. And then Gastro Acid, 90, and the defending Pokemon has no ability until the end of your next turn. That's kind of interesting. So you could swing into a Zoroark and then it can't trade, but then they can just trade with their other 3 Zoroark, so probably not a huge deal there. We have a Grubbin. Search your deck for up to 2 lightning Pokemon, reveal them, put them into your hand. Not the worst. It's also 60 HP, so it's searchable by Professor Elm's lecture. Tentacool, 10 damage for a colorless. If you use Janine this turn, it does 50 more. So it does 60 for a colorless if you use Janine. Not terrible, but I doubt that'll ever be relevant. Tentacruel, move 1 energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon to another, then put 3 damage on the new Pokemon. And wrap 60, flip for Paralyze. Not good. Goldeen, nothing. Seaking. If this Pokemon has a tool attached, flip 6 coins. So if you have a tool attached, you flip 6 coins. It does 30 damage for each head. It's with a water attached. So let's say you hit 50% of them. It's 90 for a water. Not good. Kyurem. Cold Call, search your deck for a water and attach it to this Pokemon. Definitely not bad. Hail Prison, 110. Discard 2 water energy from this Pokemon. Your opponent's active is now paralyzed. So I really like this card. It could be good for Naganadel Quagsire, which actually is just getting better with each set, because it's also gaining Snorlax Eevee Tag Team, which can be good for it. It's gaining Wailord Magikarp Tag Team. It's getting Vaporeon GX. And now this Kyurem, and also the Articuno. I forget which set that's coming out, and it might be this one. No, we would have seen that already, I think. Yeah, it's not this. Okay, yeah, but the Articuno is also pretty cool for it. But yeah, so I like Hail Prison. 110, discard 2 water from this Pokemon. Your opponent's active is now paralyzed. Um, guaranteed paralyze is always really good. Froakie, Frogadier. Um, I guess this Frogadier is good. 20 if any damage is done to this Pokemon next turn. Flip a coin of heads to prevent that damage. So a solid Frogadier if you're already playing a Greninja line of some sort. Pikachu, Raichu. Let's see. You can use this only if you have 3 or more prize cards remaining in your opponent. Attach all lightning energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. If you have 3 or more prize cards remaining and you're needing to attach all this lightning energy, like you're not playing a control deck, you are probably going to lose, especially if you're playing this terrible tempo attack that does no damage and then attaches all energy. I guess you could use this to put it on a tag team Zekrom Pikachu and potentially take 4 prizes next turn, but if you're behind by 3, your opponent's taking another one here, then you can just like tie the game up with the Pikachu Zekrom next turn, unless you're knocking out a tag team, at which point you could possibly go 1 prize ahead. Probably not going to see play. The Dene GX, I actually did a whole video for this card. It's really good, but we'll go over it a little here. When you play this from your hand, you may discard your hand and draw 6 cards, and you can only use 1 of that ability per turn. Very, very good draw ability, and very balanced since you can only use 1 a turn. Static Shock, 50 damage for lightning colorless, nothing special. Zappy return 50. Your opponent's Pokemon is now paralyzed, and return this card and all the cards attached to it to your hand for lightning colorless. So a pretty underwhelming GX attack, but decent. You paralyze, get this off the board, and you get to use the ability again potentially next turn if you want. Charge-a-Bug. Once during your turn, if this card is in your hand, you may attach this card as a special energy to Vikavolt or Vikavolt GX. This card provides 2 lightning energy to the Pokemon it is attached to. That's actually really, really cool. I like that. So that kind of reminds me of like a Holon Cast form, but Holon Cast form could be used on several Pokemon, like any Delta species, I believe it was. Whereas this can only be put on a Vikavolt or Vikavolt GX, but could potentially make Vikavolt GX a little better. And we also got a Vikavolt in here. If there's any Stadium card in play, this Pokemon has no weakness, and its attack, Lightning Strike 120 for 3 lightning, 1 colorless. You may discard all lightning from this Pokemon. If you do, this attack does 100 more damage. So it is a stage 2, but if there's a Stadium card in play, it has no weakness, so 150 on a stage 2 could be a little hard to knock out in one shot for some decks. So, like, Buzzwole might have an issue doing it without using something like a Knuckle Impact. Zoroark would have a problem. So, 120 for 3 lightning and a colorless, discard all lightning. It does 220. Then next turn you could just attach a lightning energy and then a Charge-a-Bug to it and use the attack over again, potentially. So I think this is pretty cool, especially because of the Charge-a-Bug. I don't think it's going to be great, but it does look like it has some potential. The Charge-a-Bug also has some potential, maybe for Vikavolt GX. Next is Aurora. 120 HP basic non-GX, Crushing Claw, Lightning 20, discard special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, that's really good. Discharge, Lightning colorless, 50 times. Discard all lightning energy from this Pokemon. This attack does 50 damage for each card you discard in this way. So this is very good for expanded electric. Like, that's actually nuts. Electric, just, you know, like Malamar, but for lightning. So get 3 lightning, do 150, 180 with a ban, 230 with a ban, and 4 energy. Could be good in standard as well. We're getting Tapu Koko Prism that can excel energy. Thunder Mountain that can make it need 1 less, so it could do like 130 for 2 and a choice band maybe. Yeah, very decent card. I love the artwork. This will see play in expanded. Should see some play in standard too. It's a pretty decent 1 prize lightning attacker. Marshadow, Psychic, HP 80. This is not a reprint of Let Loose. Let Loose has 70 HP, so that's good to see. Ability, Reset Hole. Once during your turn, you may discard any stadium card in play. If you do, put this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your discard pile. Okay, not bad at all. So you can get rid of Prism Stadiums with this effect. That's pretty cool. Because Prism Stadiums stop other items. Excuse me. Prism Stadiums stop other items and supporters, I believe the reading is, from affecting them from leaving play. So this could also make them leave play. Red Knuckles for colorless, 10 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an Ultra Beast, this does 60 more. So 70 for a colorless if you're swinging into an Ultra Beast. And this is psychic type, so that means you're doing 140 to a Baby Buzz and 140 to a Buzzwole GX. With a choice band, you're doing 200 to a Buzzwole GX. And it's fighting resistant, so this is amazing against Baby Buzz and Buzzwole GX. Or just 70 or 100 to a another Ultra Beast. So definitely, if your deck has a weakness to Buzzwole, this is amazing to have against it. In last standard format pre-rotation, we had Mew EX that was in a lot of decks to handle Buzzwole, or a lot of Zoroark decks namely. And this would definitely be a great replacement if, let's say, like Zoroark Weavile like has a bad matchup to Buzzwole decks of Baby Buzz and Big Buzz. This would be great for it. So definitely a good card. Should see some play for either its ability or its ability and its attack. Wooper evolves into a pretty interesting Quagsire. So 120 HP fighting type, but uses 3 water to do 120. So this means you can put this in the Ganondorf Quagsire and use water energy to deal fighting type damage to something like a Zoroark GX. In the Ganondorf Quagsire right now, you would either need a lot of energy on a Quagsire to KO a Zoroark GX, or a Volcanion Prism spread 20 everywhere, then a Choice Band on a Lapras 190 to kill a Zoroark. But here you can just transfer 3 water to a Quagsire that's fighting type and knock out a Zoroark in 1 hit. So I think that's pretty cool as like a 1-of for Ganondorf Quagsire for hitting fighting type weakness. Gligar, Ninja Thrust 30 plus damage if you use Janine this turn. This attack does 90 more. So for 3 colorless 30, if you use Janine it does 120. So like if you use Janine, got DCE, counter gain, swing this into a Zoroark, but I think there's better ways to kill Zoroarks. Collect, draw 3 cards, not good on a stage 1. And Poison Jab 70, your opponent's active Pokemon is now poison. This is just filler, not very good at all. Greninja Zoroark GX Tag Team, amazing art here. Dark Pulse, 30 plus damage for a dark colorless. This attack does 30 more damage for each dark energy attached to your Pokemon. So this definitely has potential in both formats. And expanded, obviously, it has Max Elixir and Dark Patch, and both of the Darkrai EXs. In Standard right now, it has Darkrai GX, which can accelerate energy onto itself. It has Darkrai Prism, which can accelerate energy onto itself. You have Beast Ring. You can put Dark Energy on, let's say you play this with Guzzlord GX. You can Beast Ring Dark Energy onto the Guzzlord, and this will do more damage, potentially even use the Guzzlord later on. Let's say you have the 2 energy on for Dark Pulse, that's 60 damage already. Let's say you attached for turn 1 and turn 2, that's 4 energy on the board, so that's 120 damage. And then let's say along turns 1 and 2, you excelled 1 energy each turn. So that would be 6 energy on the board, that's 180 damage, 210 with a choice band. I don't think this is bad at all in Standard. Obviously in Expanded you can get astronomical numbers very, very quickly. In Standard it might be a little harder, but I do think it has potential in both formats. That attack also has 250 HP, is weak to fighting. Maybe pair it with Solgaleo GX, who knows. Then Night Unison, Dark Colorless, plus put 2 in any combination of Dark Pokemon GX or EX from your discard pile onto your bench if this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it. Excuse me. Attach 2 energy cards from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. So that's really cool. It doesn't do damage, so you're kind of just leaving this active for a turn after doing that, after doing this like setup attack. So if you're not going to die, that's fine. But you wouldn't want to do this against anything that can potentially one-shot you, either by doing a clean 250 or fighting type weakness, helping them out. But, so let's say you put 2 of this card from your discard onto your bench, so 2 more Zoroark or Ninjas, and then also get 2 energy cards from your discard pile to each of those Pokemon. If you have at least 3 energy on this instead of 2, doing that early seems kind of hard in Standard, so you would need the 2 Pokemon targets and then also 4 energy to get the full value. In Expanded, that would obviously be a lot easier with all the discard cards. You know, you have Ultra Ball like you have in Standard, but you also have Battle Compressor and then Dowsing Machine or Computer Search. Also Professor Sycamore. So I don't like the GX attack, really, but the first attack, Dark Pulse, it's just a buffed up Dark Pulse that we've seen on Darkrai before, and it should see play in both formats. I don't know how much success in Standard. I think it'll definitely see experimentation in Standard, but definitely we'll see some play, at the very least. Carvanha, nothing, and then Sharpedo. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may look at the top 6 cards of your deck. Choose any Dark Energy cards you find there and attach them to this Pokemon. Shuffle the rest. Okay, so that's not bad, but you have to play the Stage 1 line in your deck, or maybe you just play it on a Ditto Prism if you're already playing other evolutions. And then look at the top 6, put any Dark Energy from there onto the Pokemon without running a massive amount of energy or playing something like a Magcargo to manipulate cards to the top of your deck. It's hard to see this getting a ton of value, so I don't like it for its ability. Bad Fang, 60 plus damage, just does 20 more damage times the amount of Dark Energy attached to this Pokemon. So even if all of those energy are Dark, it's only doing 120. I'm not impressed with this card at all, but I do like the artwork style. It's really cool. Greninja, non-GX, stage 2, 130 HP, Dark type. Bring down for a double colorless or 2 of some energy. Bring down, choose 1 Pokemon with the fewest remaining HP, excluding this Pokemon. And that Pokemon is now knocked out. So you choose one of the Pokemon that have the fewest remaining. So let's say there's 5 Pokemon on the board with 100 HP. You would choose which one it is that dies to this. So it's just an instant knockout. Choose 1 Pokemon with the fewest remaining HP. I don't like this. So, usually the Pokemon with the lowest remaining HP is going to be a non-GX on the board, you know, like Let Loose Marshadow, or a basic of a stage 1. If your opponent sees that you're playing this card, they can just put lower HP Pokemon onto the board so that their big guys can't get hit. if you're playing a spread deck to put the Pokemon down to lower HP and then use Bring Down, your spread Pokemon like Tapu Koko, they're going to be the lower HP Pokemon. So I don't think that would work at all. And then second attack, Miss Slash just does 70 and isn't affected by anything. So I don't think this card is good. Inkay confuses for a Dark Energy. Malamar, your opponent reveals their hand. You may discard a Pokemon you find there and choose one of its attacks to use as this attack. Easy to play around. Like, you can't just make this the basis of a deck at all, because your opponent can just, discard the Pokemon with Ultra Ball or play it down, so you can't use it. So, a really cool idea, but I don't think it's practical at all. And then Dark Pressure for 80, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. There's better attacks if you want to do damage, and there's better attacks if you want to get rid of your opponent's deck. So, not good. Gardevoir and Sylveon GX Tag Team, 260 HP, very tanky. Fairy Song. For a colorless, search your deck for up to 2 fairy energy and attach them to your benched Pokemon in any way you like, then shuffle your deck. So this is kind of like Geomancy from Xerneas from XY base set, I believe that Xerneas is from. That search for 2 fairies and attach 1 to each. Choose 2 bench Pokemon, attach 1 to each. So this is a little more versatile. You can attach them however you like, so you can go 2 on 1 or split it up 1 and 1. And it's also for colorless energy, so I like that attack. Kaleidostorm, Fairy colorless, 150. Choose any number. So then you just rearrange your energy any way you like after dealing the damage. Fairy Plus for its Miracle Magical GX. 200 damage for 3. Not bad at all. If you have 3 extra fairies attached, so 6 fairy, your opponent shuffles their hand into their deck. It has a question mark, but I believe I've seen that translation previously, so that should be correct. So that's pretty cool. Your opponent just shuffles their hand into their deck and doesn't draw anything. So I really like this for expanded. There used to be a fairy box deck with the Aromatisse that allows you to move fairy energy around however you like. That's its ability. So you could just use Aromatisse sitting on the bench to move fairy off this Pokemon to max potion it, and then move energy back onto it to attack with Kaleidostorm. So you would be playing a 2-shot deck. You just want to do 150 every turn. You could use Miracle Magical once, and then just move your energy off, max potion it, put it back, attack. I think that sounds pretty cool. You could also use Snorlax Eevee, since it's a bulky tag team as well that will be hard to knock out, and it uses colorless energy, so you could also use fairy energy for it. So I really like this card just because Fairy Box was like my favorite deck when it was viable. Excuse me. And 260 HP is bulky enough. Steel is not an important type, at least at the moment, so you could get away with that as a weakness. Even something like Solgaleo GX is 120, doesn't one-shot this without a choice band. So I like it. It has an Energy Excel. It has a fairly decent non-GX attack, and then its GX attack can one-shot things, and also has a pretty cool secondary ability, which can potentially just shut your opponent out of the game if they don't have extra draw support there, or top deck out of it. So I definitely want to experiment with this card when it comes out. I think it has a lot of potential for expanded, at least. Could also just go in a Gardevoir deck, and you have a huge 200 damage for 3 energy attack. Clefairy, that's probably not the name of the card. That's just Pokebeach, being Pokebeach. Clefable, Lunar Dance. If Fairy Energy was on all 6 of your Pokemon, this would do 190. So it could happen with Kaleidostorm, but it's not going to happen. so not good. Togepi, Togetic, attach an energy from one of your hand to your attach an energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon, not good. Togekiss, once during your turn you may heal 30 from each of your fairy Pokemon. If spread was a huge problem for a fairy deck, I guess, but it's a stage 2, so probably not. Spritzy, Aromatisse, flip 2 coins if either of them is heads. Your opponent reveals their hands. For each heads, choose a card there. Your opponent shuffles that card into their deck. No. Miracle Cologne 30, if heads, choose a special condition. So basically you're looking at 30 paralyze. 30 flip a coin if heads, it's paralyzed. Not good. Rattata, not good. Null for 30. Eradicate, Escape Fang 70. If the defending Pokemon is in evolution, switch this with one of your bench Pokemon. Pretty terrible. It's 70 HP. You're wasting a DCE on it to do 70 and switch. Maybe switch. It's not even a guaranteed switch. Lickitung 30. If heads, paralyzed. I feel like I've said if heads paralyzed a lot this during this little set review here, but probably nothing there. Licky, eat up 40. Before doing damage, if your opponent's Pokemon has a Pokemon tool attached to it, discard it. If a Pokemon tool is discarded in this way, heal all damage from this Pokemon. So this Pokemon's only 130 HP, weak to fighting. Healing it is not a huge deal at all. And then Licky Hurricane, 60, flip 4 coins, does 60 for each head. So 2 heads, 120, 3 heads, 180 for 3 energy. Not worth the risk of not getting enough heads to do enough damage. So that's it for the Pokemon. Notably, we saw Gardevoir Sylveon, I think, is very good. Zoroark Greninja is very good. I think Quagsire is cute for Naganadel Quagsire. Marshadow seems good. Zoroark should be played in Lightning decks. Vikavolt Charjabug. The Charjabug seems like it could give a little boost to Vikavolt GX, or possibly this Vikavolt, but I don't know if either is enough to put it anywhere past like tier 2.5. Dedenne is an amazing card, but I talk much more about that in another video, as I mentioned. Raichu's probably not good enough because it's bad for tempo. I really like Kyurem, like I said, for Naganadel Quagsire. Venomoth is underwhelming because it limits you it's either limiting your damage or limiting what supporter you can play. Okay, so now for the trainers. Electromagnetic Radar, discard 2 cards from your hand. If you do, search your deck for up to 2 in any combination of Lightning Pokemon GX or Lightning Pokemon EX. Reveal them and put them into your hand. So I really like this card if you're playing something like Zorora or Tapu Koko GX or Pikachu Zekrom. You basically are getting more value for your Ultra Ball. So like Mysterious Treasure for Psychic and Dragon, you get to discard just 1 energy to find a Pokemon. Here you get to discard 2 cards, or I'm sorry, discard 1 card to find a Pokemon. Here you get to discard 2 cards to find 2 Pokemon. So I really like that value that you get there, doing almost like 2 cards effects for 1 card. So you get better card value off of it. So this should definitely see play in Lightning type decks. Surprise box. Sorry. Choose a card from your opponent's discard pile and put it into their hand. Wow, this actually has Gengar on it. So yeah, this could definitely be used with Gengar Mimikyu Tag Team Poltergeist. Does more damage for each trainer in your opponent's hand. So you could just use this, look at your opponent's hand, do more damage. Pokegear 3.0, this is a reprint from Heart Gold Soul Silver era. I don't know if it was the Heart Gold Soul Silver base set though. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose 1 supporter card you find there, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle the rest. This is great. This is really, really good. It's like an energy lotto for supporter. I'm always a fan of anything adding consistency for any deck that chooses to play it. So yeah, thumbs up for Pokegear 3.0. Definitely like that. Secret Hood attached as a tool. Prevent all effects of your Pokemon's prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. Excuse me. So you can prevent things like Feather Arrow from Decidueye, Giant Water Shuriken from Greninja and Expanded. Those are the two that come to mind. I don't think this will see play though. Just stop abilities if you don't want the abilities doing things to your Pokemon. Fairy Charm Lightning. Prevent all damage done to the Fairy Pokemon this card is attached to by your opponent's Lightning Pokemon GX and EX. I don't think Lightning is an issue yet. We'll have to see if maybe Pikachu Zekrom would warrant the play of this card. Fairy Charm ability. I already saw this one. This one looks really cool. Prevent all damage done to the Fairy Pokemon this card is attached to by the attacks of your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX with abilities. So your opponent's GX and EXs that have abilities on them don't do damage to the Fairy Pokemon this is attached to. So I think that's really, really cool. So opposing Zoroark GXs, opposing Lycanroc GXs, they wouldn't do damage to, let's say, your Gardevoir that this is attached to. I think that's really neat. Janine, we looked at top 4 cards of your deck. Choose 2, put them into your hand, shuffle the rest. Koga, your opponent's active Pokemon, is now poisoned and confused. Lieutenant Surge's Battle. So I looked at this last night when the translations came out. And I stared at this for about 20 seconds with my mouth open. So let's look at it. You can only play this card if you have more prize cards remaining than your opponent. You may play up to 3 supporter cards this turn, including this one. So it's a total of 3 supporters. You can't stack the effect, blah, blah, blah. So if your opponent has less prize cards than you, you play Lieutenant Surge, and then you play 2 more supporters for the turn. I think this is potentially very, very powerful in control, stall, mill, wall decks, whatever you want to call them. Paired with Lusamine, which is controversially a problem already. Excuse me. So you can just play Lieutenant Surge's Battle, play Lusamine, get something like a Faba or a Handiwork or a Delinquent. And then next turn do Lieutenant Surge's Battle and play 2 other supporters. Like if you Lusamine them back last turn, you don't have to play Lusamine again. So basically if your opponent knocks something out, you get Counter Catcher, you get Lieutenant Surge's Battle, you get Ace Trainer, you get all these cards that are good from behind. Counter Energy maybe if you're attacking. But yeah, this seems very, very powerful for control decks. Notably, let's talk about it in Japan, where these cards are actually developed. I saw a tweet, I believe Charlie Lockyer posted it. He's mentioned that Japan plays 25-minute best-of-1 games, and that ties result in a loss for both players. So Japan, if anyone doesn't follow Japan's format, watch their games on YouTube or anything like that, they don't have control decks in Japan, or at least a lot of control decks, or at least control decks that are successful. So imagine a world without control decks. This actually just looks like a really cool card. It's like, oh man, okay, if I am behind, I'm behind. So I play Lieutenant Surge's Battle, I can then Cynthia and then find a Guzma, and that helps me play from behind if I can get that combination of cards. That actually looks really, really cool. But outside of Japan, everywhere else where this game is played, where control decks are pretty degenerate, this doesn't seem like a good idea. If control decks weren't a thing, if like we got rid of Lusamine and Oranguru and Red Card, or some combination of control cards leaving the standard and expanded format, then maybe this would just be really cool. Like I said, I think it'll be for Japan, or if our rules change like Japan's rules are. but this is probably terrible for standard and expanded outside of Japan. Then a reprint of Electro Power. I don't think it's an alternate art. It has a B next to it, not an A. Whatever. So yeah, alternate art of Electro Power. It's came out in Lost Thunder. Your lightning Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage this turn. Enhanced Hammer, another reprint. Max Potion, a reprint. And Guzma, a reprint. This is actually a really sick art. Do note that this Guzma is alternate art. It has the A on it. So this probably won't make it stay in rotation any longer. But I think there's also another Guzma print in the Ultra Shiny set. But I don't know how that affects North America at all. Just a little note there that it's an alternate art. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff here. I like the Fairy Charm ability. I like Janine. Janine's not terrible. It's like an Underground Expedition. Lieutenant Surge's Battle could be a cool card. Really useful for comeback potential. But it can easily be abused in control decks, especially in the expanded format where you have Delinquent Red card. You have Ace Trainer Delinquent. You have Handiwork. You know, it can be pretty stupid. Surprise Box is cool. Pokegear 3.0 is definitely well received by me. Look at the top 7, get a supporter. Always welcome to have more consistency. And Electromagnetic Radar is really cool for lightning decks. So yeah, that is Night Unison. 55 cards. The secret rares are not revealed yet. Thanks to PokeBeach and this person for the translations. That's all I have today for Night Unison. Lieutenant Surge looks busted in control decks. Absolutely insane. Definitely let me know what you guys think, what your favorite cards from this set are going to be. If I had to pick a favorite card, I really like the Dene GX just because of how well designed it is and how strong it is, but I feel like that's kind of a generic pick. Like, it's obviously a great card. So I'm going to pick Pokegear 3.0 as my favorite card that's coming out here, just because I love having more consistency options and more deck building options that make decks unique. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.